Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Biology with Florence. Today in this video we are going to start 10th class. So in 10th class if we see 6th lesson is very important, so we are going to start with this lesson. So the heading goes like this: Reproduction, the generating system. So in this chapter we are going to see what are the different types of reproductions, sexual, asexual, and how many types are there, and sexual reproduction, how does it happens in plants and how does it take place in human beings, and what are the other modes and methods of asexual reproduction. So everything detailed description we are going to see in this lesson. So first coming to the point, what is reproduction? So reproduction means nothing but it is the process where an organism is capable of giving rise to offsprings. What are offsprings? Nothing but newly born babies. So we can write offsprings as the newly born babies. So after reproduction, the newly born babies, they carries the characters of the parents. So the parent may be single or the parent may be two, means the male and the female parents may couple. So the type of reproduction is called as sexual reproduction. And if newly born babies comes with the help of a single parent or unicellular organisms, it is called asexual reproduction. So if we see here, we can say reproduction, it is a process of continuation of life. We can say it is a process of continuation of life. And we can say, coming to the vegetables and other food materials, some characters are transferred to the generations, means desirable characters we can get through the process of reproduction. Coming to the human beings and other animals, different types of characters are carried in the terms of heredity from the parents. So as a whole, reproduction is a must for the development of future generations. So we will study about reproduction in this class. And basically if we divide reproduction, it is divided into two main reproductions. So that we all know, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. And if you speak about the sexual reproduction, this reproduction happens with the help of two parents. Here gametes production is required. Gametes are produced from male parent and female parent, and through gametes the offsprings are formed. So that type of reproduction is sexual. And coming to asexual, it happens only with a single individual or single parent or single organism, we can say. So asexual reproduction, it happens with single organisms, and here no need of gametes. Gametes involvements doesn't happen here. Okay, such type of reproduction is called asexual reproduction. And if we see the different types of asexual reproduction, many types are there. For example, fission, binary fission, multiple fission, budding is there, regeneration is there, fragmentation is there, parthenogenesis is there. So these all processes we will discuss now. First we will go with fission. So fission, so what is fission? Fission means splitting of an organism into two or more organisms is called fission, and this splitting happens in a symmetrical manner. So in a symmetry it goes. So what is fission? Splitting of an organism into two or more organisms in an symmetrical manner is called fission. So it has to be the splitting means dividing. The organism here divides into two in an equal symmetrical manner, and if it happens into two, it is called binary fission. the organism, if it divides into two equal halves, it is called binary fission. So here two equal halves are formed. So for example, if we see here, you can see unicellular organisms like paramecium and bacteria. So these two are the examples. So if we see the structure of paramecium, it is an slippered shaped structure. So in between a nucleus is there, a vacuole is there, and all of the paramecium is surrounded by cilia, and if you see, the body is surrounded by cilia. So these are used for the collection of food. The cilia in paramecium are basically used for the collection of food, and inside the organism completely we can see it is filled with a cytoplasm. So here how the splitting occurs. First the nucleus divides here. The nucleus will be equally divided. So it will be dividing into two. Finally in the next stage, two equal nucleus are formed. Next the cleavage occurs in the cell membrane. So if you see next, the cleavage starts here, the point where the nucleus is divided, and here also it goes. All the cytoplasmic matter also divides finally, and finally in the third stage, if you see, identical parameciums are two identical parameciums you can see. So this is how the splitting occurs in paramecium and even in bacteria. So here the organism splitted into two, so it is called binary fission. Suppose you think that the organism is splitting into many and multiple, then such type of fission is called multiple fission. And see here we will see. So this is binary and this is multiple fission. Multiple fission, the best example you can see, lactobacillus bacteria. Lactobacillus bacteria, so the best example, and which is you can see in curd formation, no. So overnight in lukewarm milk, if we add a little few drops of curd, overnight it stays, and early morning if you observe, it will be turning into curd. Curd is completely filled with lactobacillus bacteria. So what happens here? Nothing but multiple fission happens, means a bacteria splits into many, it multiplies double, triple like that, and it is going on multiplying. Such type of fission or division is called multiple fission. So lactobacillus bacteria, it helps in the formation of curd. So this is fission. Fission means splitting of an organism into two or more by an symmetrical manner, and the fission, if it occurs twice or the organism formed is two, then it is called a binary fission. If many organisms are formed or multiple organisms are formed, it is called multiple fission. The example for binary fission are unicellular organisms like paramecium and bacteria, and here the example if you see, lactobacillus bacteria. So now we will see another mode of asexual reproduction. Now budding. So budding is also another mode of asexual reproduction. So budding. In budding, you can see small buds are formed on the parent organism. So the examples we can see in budding are hydra and yeast cells. So yeast cells are the cells which are used in the bakery or in the preparation of bread. Even these cells are grown or multiplied using budding, and even hydra also. Hydra, if we see example, so hydra, it lives on a substratum. So cylindrical body it has. So suppose if you see, this is hydra, a small bud will be formed on the body of hydra. Later it grows, and this body will be growing into bigger and bigger. Finally this will be grown into new individual. This bud will be grown into new individual. Finally it separates from the parent. So again new hydra you can see. So, on the substratum. So, not only one, like that many buds will be growing on the surface of hydra. So, all these buds grows. So, this is called the bud. So, this bud grows and finally, all the buds which are on the parent will be growing into separate organisms. So, such type of a division is called budding. So, next one if you see fragmentation. Fragmentation. Here mostly this fragmentation we will see in algae and fungi and some of the land mosses or some of the land plants. So, like moss plants, mosses, nachu we call in Telugu. So, in this three plants we see fragmentation. So, what is fragmentation? Here the plant or the algae, the organism will be splitted or cutted into many pieces and each piece will be separated and it will be formed as new organism. So, suppose you think this is a moss plant and you think this is cut into many pieces. So, each piece, this piece will go and form into one organism, this forms into another, this into the other. So, how many cuts or how many pieces are cutted, those many pieces of organism means each piece will be developed into new organism. So, fragments, each here in fragments means nothing but, so fragment means the meaning is piece. Okay. So, that pieces will be forming into new organism. So, mostly it happens in algae, in fungus. So, fungus it also grows very widely and more fastly. So, because of fragmentation and some of the land plants like mosses. So, next asexual mode of reproduction is regeneration. So, we will see regeneration. So, the name itself says the regeneration means once if any part of the organism is cut, that part will be growing into new organism. For example, planaria. See, if you see the organism planaria will be like this. So, it has a cylindrical body with a tail like structure. Suppose two eyes are present here. Suppose you think that the head part is cut. So, this tail part has the tendency to develop the head. Suppose the tail part is cut. So, this tail will be growing or regenerating. So, such ability is there in planaria and such mode of reproduction is called regeneration. So, regeneration is nothing but if any organism by accidentally any cut happens, that cut part will be grown again. So, this best we can see in lizards also, no? Some type of lizards. So, in lizards also tail will be cut and after few days you can see they shed out the tail cut part and new tail will be seen. So, this is a, but we have to write here the best example is planaria. So, in planaria it happens like this. So, this is regeneration. And next one is nothing but the shift of sexual reproduction to asexual reproduction. So, that process is called parthenogenesis, means here true fertilization does not happen in plants. So, that is the reason we can get seedless fruits. So, seedless fruits are now available everywhere now. Now, if you see like watermelons, pomegranates, all these seedless fruits you can see, even grapes also. So, all these fruits they give seedless with the help of this process called parthenogenesis. So, what is parthenogenesis? Shift of sexual reproduction to asexual, means true fertilization does not happen in this process. So, these are all the examples of modes of asexual reproduction. So, in this video we have seen fission. Fission it is also divided into two main types, the binary fission and the multiple fission, and we have seen budding and after budding we have seen fragmentation, then regeneration and parthenogenesis. So, all these are the modes of asexual reproduction which happen. All these are the modes of asexual reproduction. So, in the next video we will see what is vegetative propagation and more information about vegetative propagation. Thank you.